Good afternoon, welcome to Rundlii Gaming. We're going to be doing a video on the game Director's Cut. This is a game based around making movie projects, or I guess to make actual movies themselves. And what you can actually be doing is hiring different actors, directors, producers, things of that sort. You also have editors, and you're going to be using these in order to produce different movies. And depending on how good the people you put into those movies are, is going to give you a different rating. And with different ratings, you're going to earn a certain amount of money accordingly. So as an example, we have, these are all the starting ones, and you'll actually be drawing more of these as the game progresses through. In this case, it shows that it's a 3-star, so it's a 2-star, a 3-star. And these go between 1 and 5 stars. So you know that the highest that you can find in this this deck here, it's only going to be 5-star. And then as far as the movies go, it's going to show you what kind of people you need for this movie. Like in this case, you need 1 actor, 1 director, and then 1 composer in order to make this movie. This one will take 2 actors, and then 1 editor, and etc. And that'll be this particular deck for that. So anytime you take one of these, you're going to replace it with a new screenplay. Whenever you get another actor, or one of the cast or crew, you then replace it as well. As well as you're going to have the money cards here as well. And the objective of the game itself is to have the most money at the end of the game. So you kind of have to do a balancing act between getting high-rated movies, but you don't want to spend too much to make those high-rated movies because it does cut into your profit a little bit. Because how it's going to actually work is, in order to recruit, you're going to have to take them from the section here. And the price to recruit one of these people is going to be based strictly on where they're located at within the board here. So this one will cost 0, this one will cost 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. So if you wanted to take, like say this director, it's going to cost you 40,000 to do that. So if it had a lot of stars, it might be useful. But like in this particular case, it might be more beneficial to take this one for free because, you know, it's just a 1-star and that'll give you an actor at least. So it kind of depends on what kind of cast or crew you need in this particular scenario, as compared to what kind of movie you're going to make. Now to go a little bit more in depth of these movies themselves, you're going to have a few different characteristics. You have, as I mentioned, the different types of crew you need to actually make this particular movie. And then on the bottom here, you're going to have some additional stats here. In this case, it'll have 3 a star, then you have a 6 and a star, then you have a 10 and a star. What those represent is that if you were to make this movie and you have at least 10 stars worth of actors amongst these 3 things, because you do need to fill all requirements of it. So in order to do this one, I do need the 1 composer, I need 1 director, 1 actor. That's all I can use on the film. If I have 3 stars total amongst those 3, I'm going to gain $50,000. If I have 6 stars on that, I'm going to gain $80,000. If I have 10 stars, I'm going to get $120,000. So, let's say if there was a couple 5 stars here, I could pull those for $40,000 each. But let's say if I pulled 3, 5 stars, I could easily get past the 10-star here. But at that point, you've cut into your profit so much that it's kind of hard to actually make that really feasible. And since at the end of the game, your goal is to actually obtain the most money itself, then you do want to kind of limit how much you want to spend on these particular actors or editors or composers. But let's say if I were to buy, or let's say if I were to take this card and then I were to discard the appropriate things for that, it also has another ability in the corner here. And what that ability means is that you can take one of these for free. So if I were to make this particular movie, not only do I get the money that I mentioned earlier, I also get one card for free. And I just take it from the cards that are currently laid out here. So that's pretty much how the cards themselves work. And then, as I mentioned, these are the money piles itself. So you have denominations of 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, and 500,000. So the game itself plays two-player, so it's mostly back and forth. The creator of the game did mention that they've kind of messed with a 3 or 4 player game a little bit, but they did mention it's not quite recommended to do so. So it's definitely much more preferable to be 2-player in this one. And so that's because it's how it's more designed to actually play out. During your turn, you can do one of a couple actions. You can either take one of the cast and the crew, and then you pay according to the price that you're going to spend on it, and then you would recruit that to your hand. The other option is to discard the appropriate number of people that are needed for the particular screenplay. So let's say if I had these 3 cards in my hand, I'd have 2 actors and 1 editor. So as an during my turn, I could discard those 3 to use that particular one. So those are your 2 different possible actions. You can either grab one of the cast and crew, pay the appropriate amount, or if you have enough cards in your hand at the time, you can discard them to basically do that particular movie itself. So we're going to go a few mock rounds here, and I'm going to leave everything kind of open so we can see, but normally the money itself as well as the cards in your hand will be hidden, but I'm just going to be playing them as we go. So let's say the left player here is going to take this one for free. So since it's in that first slot, it does not cost anything. These will all slide down, and then you're going to drop another one. So this is a 3-star. I could grab that for 40,000 if I chose, but it's only a 3-star, so it may not be as beneficial right now. So what they're going to do is also grab this one for free. These will again slide down, and then we'll drop another. So they're a 2-star actor. So at this point I can go a couple different routes. I can either continue trying to get the editor and actor, and that would end up giving me 40,000 if I were to do this one. Or I can try to go for this director next round, because if I grab this, he may grab that. Let's go and grab this just to make it easy. These will slide. He's just going to grab the first one as well. They will slide. And they're actually going to spend 10,000 because they're going to take one from the next spot here. Those will slide. This particular person's okay with getting a director, because what they may do is just try to complete that there. Then they'll slide again. And as you can see, the game plays fairly quickly. Once everyone kind of knows what they're doing with it, the game will start to move a little bit faster for everyone. But we're going to go ahead and do 5 stars on this particular one here. Now this one pays out at, if you have 3 stars, you get 40,000. If you have 7 stars, you have 90,000. If you have 11 stars, you get 140,000. So we could do one of a couple things here. In actuality, probably what I would do is I would actually probably grab this editor instead of completing that one. And I'll pay 10,000 for that. And the reason for that is if I were to discard these ones instead of using this editor, I'll be at 7 stars, which is going to be 50,000 more than if I were to complete it at the 5-star, because you'll just get a better payout on it. And I know for a fact that this person cannot complete that one, so I'm not too worried about it right now. And we're going to slide that over there. Now this particular person, they do have the requirements for this one, and they have the requirements for this one. This one does require a minimum of 4 stars, which they only have 3, so they probably will not be able to complete it. So what they're going to do is actually discard these 3. So they have 3 stars in it. They're going to trigger this one, which will give them 50,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once they've completed that, they also get a free card from the list here. So what they're going to probably do is just grab this one because it's a 4-star. And then that goes to their hand as well. And then they slide. And then I guess you don't really have to slide these because you can grab them from anywhere and it doesn't actually mess up if you grab from any particular location. And this is going to keep going back and forth until the cast and the crew deck is gone. Once the cast and crew deck, the last card has been drawn. At that point, each player gets one last action that they can do to see if they can build one last movie. And that's why I mentioned it's going to keep going about that until that particular time. Now there are some special cards. They're not quite as clear cut as all these are. So probably one of the little minor hang-ups that I have with it is that a lot of the abilities in the game, like any really special characteristics in it, there tends to only be one of them for the most part. So like most of these, some of them are going to have where you can take multiple cards from here. So perhaps scoring the 5-star in this one, even though you don't make a lot of money on it, could give you 2 really good actors out here, or editors or composers, basically cast and crew. So this will be good for that. This one has a special ability on it. You get 1 card from here, and then you keep 1 cast and crew card that you used as well. So let's say if you had a really good director that you used for this particular movie, you could keep the director. This one again doesn't pay out quite as well unless you have much higher stars on it, but you do keep a card and then you also take 1 from here, so you do kind of refresh some of the stuff that you lost. And now this one here pays really, really poorly because it takes 5 people to do this particular movie, and at 10 stars you're going to make 30,000, which is very, very low. 50,000 if you're at 15 stars, and 110,000 if you're at 20 stars. However, with this card, if you were to use this particular card and actually get that done, you take $20,000 at the start of each of your turns. So as long as you pull this card, you're going to get 20,000 at the beginning of every round. You just don't get a lot of money up front as far as making the movie itself. Now this one, you can also score a second script. So if I were to complete this one, it doesn't require a lot of actors or composers. But if I were to complete this one, then I can then try to complete another one as well. In the same turn, you don't have to wait for your next round to actually do that. This one gives you the ability to keep the director. So this one takes a director and an editor, but if you were to complete this one, the payout's really bad, but again, you are keeping one of your cards that you just used, so it's not too bad as far as that goes. And on top of that, you actually get a card from here, so you may end up using your director and editor. You keep your director, and then the editor, maybe you could pull another one, or you could pull something else that you're currently in need of. So the game, according to the directions on here, it does state that the game plays in about 15 minutes. I think ours took a little bit longer, but we did play a learning game. And I do feel that if you were to sit down with someone that has played it before and you don't have to actually go through and re-explain it, it should play fairly quickly. I'm not sure how accurate 15 minutes is. I mean, it could very well be that around that time. I just know in the games that we played were usually learning games, and I think it probably took 20 to 25 minutes or so. So they're still fairly quick. So 15 minutes probably isn't out of the question. But it's a very quick and easy game, and I think it would be really good for those that want to play something that revolves around film. And it still could be very good for those that want to play something that's a little more casual, a two-player game, and a little bit on the lighter side. So if you're wanting just to kind of sit down and just play something a little more casual, this might be a good route to take, because at that point you're just kind of making movies, and then you're kind of hoping to achieve the most money at the end of the game, depending on what kind of actors you send to these different movies. So it is pretty neat as far as the game goes. I couldn't think of any comparisons offhand, but that is the game of Director's Cut, the card game. So I do hope you've enjoyed it. This one is not going to actually be on Kickstarter, which I'm kind of a little bit sad on that, because it actually is a very neat game, but it is going to be on print and play. So if you are interested in getting this, they do have a print and play option that they're going to be doing as well. So this is the game of Director's Cut, the card game. So thank you for watching Rundlii Gaming, and you have a good day.